So how you see this 7th International Energy Sustainable Development Conference in Baku? How you see this?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be here. This is the third forum that I come to. The first one was in 2014. It took place in Hammamet, Tunisia. The second one was last year in Yerevan, Armenia, and the third one here in Baku, in Azerbaijan. And the whole idea is to bring together professionals, academics, and researchers who are interested in sustainable energy. And specifically within sustainable energy is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, number 7. And this whole idea is about energy security, access to energy at an affordable price. And why is this important? Today there are 1.4 billion people who have no access to energy. And they are in two very distinct areas of the world, Sub-Saharan Africa and developing Asia, so South Asia and Southeast Asia. And this is one of the greatest challenges humanity faces today.
So let's come to the England. That what are the, after this BRICS episode, what's going to be happen, and what are the current challenges in which you are looking about this? What are the challenges?
Right. So in the European Union at the moment, I would say we have 4 main challenges. The first one is Brexit. As you know, on the 23rd of June 2016, the United Kingdom had a referendum to leave the European Union, and they said yes. When it will happen, we don't know, most likely 2 years from now. The second of the 4 problems is immigration, coming mainly from Syria. As you know, there is a war going on in Syria, and therefore a lot of migration going from Syria into Turkey, and then from there to Greece, Germany, and other countries of the European Union. The third issue, I would argue, is the economy, more specifically the euro, the single currency. A lot of people are arguing that the problem with the European Union in terms of integration is the single currency. And some people even argue, Joseph Stiglitz, Nobel Prize winner, just wrote a book where he says the euro will put an end to the European Union. And the last problem, if I may, very quickly, is unemployment. In some countries in the European Union, especially those in the south, I'm talking about Spain, Greece, Italy, and Portugal, unemployment for young people is as high as 50%. And this is a tragedy. It is one of the greatest challenges we have in the European Union.
Professor Rafael, I say that, do you think that these all problems and the challenges are the self-created by the Europe, England, and the United States? Because the crisis like the migration crisis, the crisis like the migrants coming from the Syria and Iraq and all this region. So this region was because the Tony Blair said that yes, the Saddam has the chemical and the biological weapons,
right,
and the mass destruction weapon. So no one recovered these mass destruction weapon and the biological and chemical weapons. Otherwise, the Iraq and the Libya and all this was very safe region. How do you see this?
You're absolutely right. The whole reason for the US, the UK, and Spain, for that matter, to invade Iraq was the so-called weapons of mass destruction. But what we know is that they don't exist. And it's a real shame, in my view, what the West has done to a Muslim Arab nation, Iraq in this case, which has been destroyed for no reason, because there are no weapons of mass destruction. And today what we see is a tremendous fiasco happening in Iraq, unnecessarily, because of the greed of the West.
So the current Prime Minister of the England, so do you think that she's going to take some U-turn on the BRICS? What do you think about this?
No, I do believe that the new Prime Minister of the UK, Mrs. May, is a Brexiteer. She's in favor of the UK leaving the European Union. What we don't know is under what terms and conditions. What she said recently is that from March 2017, she will start the negotiations with the European Union in order to get ready for Brexit. So it will happen, we just don't know how it will happen.
So how you see the Hinkley Point C, the most Western criticized nuclear project in England? Because they are saying that the West is saying that this is something like the mega cost project, and the Chinese intervention here will be the problematic for the Europeans. So how you see the Hinkley Point C nuclear project?
Nuclear projects?
Yes, because this is something like the Hinkley Point C is the project in which China is going to make the nuclear project for the energy.
Yes.
To fulfill the energy requirements of the England.
Right.
And there is a very famous slogan that the British will have to cook their turkey.
Yes.
On 25th December, one day. On this Hinkley Point C gas.
So what I can say regarding nuclear energy in the case of the European Union is that it's a very divided topic. Some countries, for example Germany, are very much in favor of getting rid of nuclear energy, and by 2020 the whole idea is to close down all the anything that has to do with nuclear energy. France, on the contrary, is the other way around. They truly believe in nuclear energy as a source of clean energy. So really we're talking about different jurisdictions within the European Union when it comes to the case of nuclear energy.
So my question is that you said that the second International Energy Sustainable Development Conference was in Yerevan in Armenia. So how you think that this Midsummer nuclear plant, because it is on one of the damaged nuclear power plant that is going to be in working condition, do you think that it is something, it will be a problematic and it's going to be another nuclear disaster like Fukushima in Japan and we can see here in South Texas?
Well, I hope that will not be the case because, as you rightly said, Fukushima was a terrible example of a disaster in nuclear energy in the case of Japan. That is part of the reason why, for example, in Germany, they're thinking of closing down anything that has to do with nuclear energy. But as I said, in the case of Europe, it's very divided as a topic. Some countries are in favor of nuclear energy, others are very much against it.
And my another question is that as according to this international conference, there is the future of the sustainable energy.
That's right.
After the Paris conference and the CO summit. What do you think that the US is grabbing all the resources, oil resources and other natural resources of the world and they are collecting? But the other countries, the third world countries and the other countries, US is giving a lollipop of the sustainable development energy. What do you think?
Well, you mentioned a very important example here, which is the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, which, as you know, was concluded last December 2015 in the context of the COP21 in Paris, France. And also, as you know, on the 4th of November 2016, so just in a few days, it will be ratified. This is very good news because for the first time the international community has decided to take climate change mitigation very seriously, and as a result of that, a way to get there is sustainable energy, which is the topic of this conference. So there is a lot to be said about the future. I am very optimistic that for the first time we have a legal document that is going to be implemented very soon and therefore will enable the international community to mitigate climate change and to move forward in sustainable energy, more specifically renewable energy. There is a lot to be done legally, technologically, for the benefit of everyone, not only the West, but also the rest.
Now, we have seen a lot of double standard of the West and the US about various things in the world, on press freedom, on everywhere. So do you think that it is some sort of the guarantee that on this sustainable development energy we will not see the double standard of the West and the US?
Again, that remains to be seen. I hope not. I'm very optimistic that the international community will cooperate for the benefit of everyone. Climate change is a global problem and the mitigation of climate change is actually public good. Let me give you an example. China is the largest polluter, not per capita, but in absolute terms, obviously, because it's 1.4 billion people. If China mitigates climate change, so if China reduces the emissions of greenhouse gases, that will be beneficial to countries near China, for example, Southeast Asia. So I think it is a global problem where we can all benefit if we cooperate internationally.
How you see the potential of the sustainable development energy in this Central Asia, South Texas and the CIS states? Again,
as we see, here is a country, Azerbaijan, which is very rich in fossil fuel, whether it is oil or gas. Nevertheless, this conference is evidence of the fact that they are also interested in renewable energy. So my suggestion is to move forward both in terms of fossil fuels and gradually investing dramatically in renewable energy for the benefit of mitigating climate change.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you.